Burger King is one of the most well-known fast food restaurants. From the iconic Whopper to the Kingdom with Magic, the hip group of teens, the BK Kids Club, to the weird and unknown Hanbats, to the all-but-comforting King, who starred in 3 of his own video games, to a Simpsons takeover, and to number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The story of this burger royalty is long and filled with cholesterol, and I'm here to talk about it. Burger King has always had a special spot in the fast food lineup. It's not the well-known greatest of all time McDonald's. It's not the universally hated Arby's. It's not the universally loved specifically to one region Culver's. It's not the what the heck you still exist Quiznos. In my opinion, the general public doesn't have a label like that for Burger King. The fast food for dads. Well, maybe it's McDonald's shadow. They came after McDonald's inspired by their success. McDonald's had a signature burger, the Big Mac, so Burger King created the Whopper. McDonald's stole the idea to put toys in their kids' meals, so Burger King stole it too. McDonald's made an entire land filled with whimsical characters, and Burger King created a kingdom with not as whimsical characters. What didn't Burger King take? Onion rings. Cool promotions with red burgers, black burgers, green burgers, fake burgers, upside down burgers, the Yumbo, gay burgers, pizza burgers, only cheese no burgers, pregnant burgers, ketchup nuggets, gooey apple green slime dipping sauce, Lucky Charms shakes, the mac and Cheetos. Burger King actually might be cooler. Our story begins in the 60s with really fake ads. Burger King is all lovey-dovey for the whole family. There are no characters besides the workers who want to make it your way. That's the slogan. Hold the pickles, hold the lettuce, special order, come and get it. Singing and songing, slogans, epithets, jingles, very insensitive ads comparing the disappearance of Native Americans to the shrinking of burger patties. And all that just didn't cut it. It didn't sell burgers good enough. So in spawned the Burger King. A redesign of their current logo made this stubby wee regal, and he never got a proper chance to shine. A worker he encounters at one of his restaurants is a former magician from his kingdom, but nothing comes from that. But the magician must have taught him a thing or two, because the king grows a few feet, becomes human, creates a whole kingdom for himself called the Burger King Kingdom. They didn't think too hard on that one. And finally, the king gains a much longer title, the Marvelous Magical Burger King. He's magic now, practicing actual sorcery and some prestidigitation. Ha, second time I've said that in the last 3 videos. The king can corporealize from drawings and can summon famine-curing amounts of food from the twist of his little ring. He also is the food. He has a secondary form as a burger. I'm presuming this is his sleeping form. The Marvelous King really only supplied food and ran around. He didn't exactly fight his enemy, and his relationships with his friends seem surface level at best. Hang on a second. Hello everyone, I am the new Mung. I'm looking pretty good, right? Well, it might be a little weird seeing me not in an office. Don't worry, I will be in one. But right now, I'm just waiting for my plane to arrive. I have to go meet some prime minister I don't care about meeting. But anyway, good to see you all. Continuing on. There aren't many distinct features of the kingdom, besides, well, talking trees. Oh, come on. The kingdom's villain was the Duke of Doubt, a very one-dimensional foil who just doubted the magic of the king. The non-believer often found himself wrong because the Marvelous King is the second coming and turns him into a shake. This is Master Shake's origin. The trusty, loyal knight to the king is Sir Shake-a-Lot. He talks really nasally and I think has Parkinson's, or he's constantly going through withdrawals. Or he's cold because he represents milkshakes. But I don't think so. Honestly, I really like this guy. He has a pretty unique design. The Wizard of Fries is another high-ranking official of the kingdom, but he's no wizard. He's a robot, powered by French fries, and can create matter, which goes against one of those physics things I was supposed to retain. He can multi-fry, turning one single fry into enough fries to fill the universe. They don't show that, but in theory, it's possible. The final member of the King's Round Table is the Burger Thing, a sentient piece of art, and I don't know what he really does. But on this cup he's on, he looks like he huffed paint, and then his face just paused. It's no wonder why you know everyone from McDonald Land, but no one from the illustrious Burger King Kingdom. McDonald's actually used their characters. Burger King just created them, and then was like, nah, we're good. They put them on some cups. Who else did that? They made a Marvelous King plush. In the commercial, they describe it as
colorful, cuddly Burger King doll.
But I can assure you, you have to have felt one of these. They are not cuddly nor cozy. The lack of appearances is unfortunate. It's not a half-bad cast. The Duke is pretty weak, but there was story to tell there. They didn't tell it, which led to all of them having a public execution. Fitting, right? Well, I think actually they just unplugged the Wizard of Fries and burned the burger thing, but the others, Yeah, decapitated. I have a feeling the marvelous magical Burger King's head just rolled away and went into hiding, because he's magic, obviously. During this time, they also began throwing immense shade towards McDonald's, mostly tastefully, but they did it a lot. They just kept amping up their dissing, but unfortunately, we never got a Ronald versus the Marvelous King battle. They also started hunting down a guy named Herb, who has never had Burger King, so they were going to find him and force him to eat the food. Sounds great. And violating. This is also the most unsuccessful campaign they ever did. They never actually showed Herb until the Super Bowl 20 commercial, and then he went on to appear on the Today Show and was a timekeeper in WrestleMania 2. Alf also ravaged the restaurants, and Mr. T was like, yeah, Burger King good. But that doesn't matter. The brand is going to try to appeal to kids this time. They're gonna actually try. Introducing the BK Kids Club, plainly a group of kids, and they do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. There's 8 of them, and each have a typical archetype. So you'd think they would do something, but no. They make the meals once, they're on merchandise, and they're made into toys. They might be sentient drawings as they pop out of the paper, and then the animator comes out of a film cell. There must also be portals in the kids' meal bags, as evidenced here. He's just like, hey, hello. Okay, bye. They have a remote that teleports children away from their families, traumatizing their grandparents. Just don't give this to the other fast food mascot, Jared Fogle. The leader of the club is Kidvid. IQ, the smart one, Snaps, the photographer, Boomer, the athletic one, Jaws, the nature one, JD, the dog, and it was the 90s, but still, Wheels. Added later than the others is Lingo, because he can speak Spanish. Added so much later than the other characters, so late that they don't appear essentially anywhere, is Jazz. She answers Barry's question with an emphatic yes. The club was in for about 10 years. Achieving not much, really. And so deservingly, they were out. Hey, is the plane ready yet?
No, sir, you need to finish the video.
I can finish it on the plane.
I don't know if that's a good idea.
Why?
Never mind. Just continue.
Now mascotless, they introduced the Choose the Ooze campaign, part of the gross out slime booger fad of the time. They had gooey apple green dipping sauce. Also in their new Big Kids meal, it was a bigger Happy Meal, but still not big enough for a regular adult meal. More food for kids. I'm sure this won't lead to insane childhood obesity rates. Without a mascot, some of these ads felt like Burger King was getting a little melancholic, stopping the use of their self-affirming slogan, I love this place, and releasing this ad where they admit McDonald's is the better fast food, but it doesn't matter because Burger King is your favorite, which doesn't make the most sense on an advertising side, just self-loathing. But who cares, because guess who's back to save his brand? The King. He's no longer magic, and he's no longer marvelous. My own headcanon is that the decapitated head of the marvelous magical Burger King regrew his body with caudal autotomy, and now he's this, hence the oversized head. Giving joy to all the children wasn't on the top of his to-do list anymore. I don't know what was, but he's now creepy, and he lurked. That's all he did, was lurk. And in doing his lurking, he encouraged people to get some nice, calorie-filled burgers, but only with his actions, because now he was mute. He also broke many laws. He broke into a man's bedroom and then watched him sleep, and then fed him breakfast. He always rights his wrongs, the ends justify the meats. He's attempting to spy on people, only staring at their shutters, so not actually observing anything, but it's still creepy. And here the wildlife flock to him, like a Disney princess. Little do they know they are going to be something on the menu. He sneaks onto a construction site and bothers the workers while he's tweaked out on caffeine. His eyes say something else, but will say caffeine. And then Tweak King almost kills the man. He doesn't commit a crime here, but it's heavily implied here that this construction worker ordered something off the secret menu, and the King personally delivered in his bed. Possibly all night. But to make it worse, it was in front of like 10 people. Unless that's something they like. I don't know how to explain this one. In a promotion for the Kong-sized Whopper, King is Kong-sized. Or the building he's looking in is miniature. He sneaks up behind a guy in the dark of night while he's getting money out of his ATM, and the King gives him food. But he swipes his ATM card from him. That one didn't right the wrong. He runs up to random people on the street and shoves money in their pockets. This feels like harassment, but you can be the judge of his morality or intentions. The money could be from the stolen ATM card. In running from the police, he's a jaywalker. the crime to end all crimes. But the karma gods really put his 6th Amendment to use and gave him the speediest of trials, where his majesty is just plowed into by a car. In his free time, he plays basketball, but he quickly finds out that it's not his forte and begins rushing the fields of multiple football games. It might be the Super Bowl. Sports aren't my thing. He breaks into the Mick headquarters and steals their recipe for one of the McMuffins, so Burger King starts selling one, but it's cheaper. Again, I don't know if it's smart advertising because it's cheaper, or if it's dumb that you're admitting to just taking their idea. The king doesn't have a kingdom to rule over anymore, but he does have a co-mascot called the Subservient Chicken, and he promoted the Tender Crisp sandwich. The Subservient Chicken was on a website where you could type in anything and then he would do it, but that's about it for him. And a third co-mascot named Yugoff. And I don't even, why is this Burger King? The higher-ups at BK was like, the king scared the children away to our competitors. We must bring them back. Quick, make some characters. And I can only assume the first sketches created became the Hanbats. You know how the wacky names in Star Wars, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Kashyyyk, Jar Jar Binks, they all sound right. They don't sound made up, they sound like they could actually be from a different planet. Hanbats is the opposite. It sounds made up. But nonetheless, these guys are awesome. They fit in the early 2000s aesthetic pretty well. Again, they don't really do anything, but they F the S up with food items and machinery in the ominous no background void, which is the best kind of background. Their names, all trademarked, which feels litigiously excessive for guys like these. Mix-Max, this or that, all one word. Chomp, Bonnie, and collectively, these mite guys are eeps. These geometrics unfortunately only lasted 2 years, but are some of the most unique and endearing mascots across all brands. They never got any toys made of them, which feels criminal. And the fact that they didn't do anything feels worse. In this era, they did some weird stuff. Apparently, the king didn't satiate the weirdness. They picked up the slogan, "Size Matters," and ran an ad using their burgers as a phallus, which got banned. They released a SpongeBob promotion all about tuchuses, which felt a little over the top for Sping Bing. They introduced new characters, a really horrible and lazy attempt at mascots. I don't really think it works. But they're supposed to be of the burger species, and the dad burger is all concerned about his son trying to get some regular human poontang. And the father makes a comment about how he was selling himself for $1, which is quite clever. But there was so many innuendos in these commercials. It didn't hurt my feelings. This guy ate at Burger King and subsequently moaned and groaned all day long. This girl became infatuated and aroused with this guy's tiny burgers. Even the grannies were feeling something they hadn't felt in 20 years for the Twilight promotion. Hey Peter guy narrated an ad.
The Whopper says, flame-broiled beef without fries and a Coke? Scary.
Along with John Goodman.
The Bacon Cheddar Whopper, available on Earth for a limited time only, so grab one today.
A guy describes a chicken fry as hot and juicy, and this girl ponders the question if he's truly referencing the chicken fry or perhaps his chicken fry. And then there was also this ad, where the cholesterol-y goodness activates primal reptilian instincts. This feels illegal to watch. Is it ready yet? I have to get going.
Not yet, sir.
What's ETA?
Estimated time of arrival?
Yeah, I know what it stands for.
I will let you know, sir. Just continue.
But now to the part of the video all of you knew was coming. The trilogy of video games. And they aren't sequels to the Commodore 64 game Whopper Chase from 1987 that I don't really feel super inclined to talk about because it's just a waste of time. Available to purchase at any Burger King for $4, you could choose Pocket Bike Racer, Big Bumpin', or the infamous Sneak King, or all three if you really hated yourself. Big shocker, there's no story to these games. Pocket Bike Racer is Mario Kart, but they're on miniature dirt bikes. Other than the king, the model Brooke Burns is a playable character because she did an ad for BK. The Subservient Chicken is here, along with the Burger Boy, who I guess is Whopper Jr., making his dad Whopper. The tracks either appeared in a commercial like the construction site, or land filled with Burger King food. Big Bumpin' is just bumper cars, but with our favorite cast. The King, Brooke Burns, the Subservient Chicken, and of course, Whopper Jr. Finally, Sneak King. You play as the king, and you lurk. More lurking. You sneak up behind people and you feed them. But if you don't feed them in time, they keel over and pass out. The locations again are all settings from commercials. A sawmill, a cul-de-sac, a construction site, and a city. All of these areas looking quite liminal. Sneak King gets such an awful rap because it is so repetitive and a lot of it is dependent on chance. If you complete the game, the king wears black robes. So, is that cool? These games are the epitome of, yup, This looks like an Xbox game. 2007 is the year the Simpsons movie came out, which BK helped promote quite a lot. BK and the Simpsons have had a very long relationship, promoting their brand with toys since 1990. And every time they had a new promotion, the Simpson characters would be shown with Burger King products instead of their typical reuse of movie clips. Except for Hop, they had EB playing the drums. But the Simpsons movie promotion was quite big. They had a website where you could Simpsonize yourself. One BK location hired Kang or Kodos to work there, but then his species, the Regellians, started zapping human Earth, Simpsonizing everyone. The leader Regellian is actually the king, conquering Earth, I guess? The king offers some support to Krusty the Clown as he's failing and behind on 7 alimonies, but instead, they fight, and the king knocks him out. Totally not an allegory for what they want to do to Ronnie McDonnie. In 2011, some temporary dethroning occurred, and the king was removed once more. Maybe one too many field rushings, or according to one CEO, he scared women and children. I can only assume the king was arrested. Finally, his reverse pickpocketing and jaywalking caught up to him. In the meantime, there was no mascot. I don't know where the subservient chicken went, or Whopper Jr., but they had the Chicken Fries Chicken, which is just a face, not really a mascot, sort of just an icon. They had BB King appear once, and they had Steve Harvey many a time. But why specifically Steve Harvey? Is it because he runs one of the worst and most exhausted game shows on American television? No. Wait, actually, yes. You know how McDonald's has the Monopoly game? Burger King had family food. It's always a joke that Burger King is just a ripoff of McDonald's, but there's not even an attempt to hide it. Some new animated characters were featured, these burger people, but there are very few ads with them and no names associated with them or any information, but they did promote apple fries. I feel like that's candy cigarettes, just like implementing the habit for kids, so eventually they can evolve to French fries. A once appearing guy is this blue puppet Muppet. I don't know if they intended for him to be something long lasting, but that didn't happen. In doing their part to stop obesing the youth, they promoted smart treats like milk. Yummy bone juice to wash down my burger and apple fries. Okay, enough of this slog. Who cares? The king is back. He might be out on parole, or he got bailed out. The first thing he does is run for president in 2016. A king running for president against an unnamed senator. His only policy is selling 10 nuggets for $1.49. Could be considered bribing the public, but while simultaneously campaigning, he partnered up with a certain someone and released Mac and Cheetos, confirming canonically that the Burger King and Chester Cheetah are in the same universe. The king flaunts his connections even more, appearing in Floyd Mayweather's entourage ahead of a fight. He didn't do anything, but the company paid over $1 million for him to be there. There's been a few mobile games, and somehow he found his way into Subway Surfers. But that's where we're left off. The king has appeared very rarely. His bid for president fizzled out, or he won. Maybe that's where he's been. I'd like to know what the state of his relationship is with Chester. The latest promotions have been the Whopper, 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 Junior Double, Triple, Whopper, Flame Grilled Taste with Perfect Toppers, I Rule This Day, which has been quite successful, and the Moldy Whopper, showing how their food actually ages, which also did well. But that's it. The king has been subjected to a mascot purgatory, where the brand only uses him when they need it, instead of being the smiling, fear-inducing Regal at the front of every door. I hope to see a return of the Han Bats. Not gonna happen though. This story will continue. Eventually, I'm sure they'll bring him back or add an entire new guy, but the life of mascots in the 2020s has been bad. Is the plane finally ready?
No, sir.
Why not?
It's not in the budget to draw a plane.
Really?
Yeah, it's not for any other reason.
Okay, what do you mean?
The crown, sir. Take it off.
Okay.
Now you can get on the plane.
What are you talking about?
Don't worry about it.